So here on this channel, we like to do bad owners. Wait, that's not what I meant. What I mean by that is we like to talk about bad owners, with at least half the videos since I came back being about bad owners. I'm not rich enough to buy a football club, but if me and my entire subscriber account put in a good amount of change into a bag and submit to buy a football club, we will still not be able to buy a club because there's only 119 of you. So go subscribe. Now that cheeky plug's out of the way, let's get back to the point. Like I was saying, if 119 people put in, say, 100 quid each into a bag and submit, we would not be enough to buy a top-end English club. We might be able to purchase a second division Moldovan club, but that's a whole other conversation that's not important now. But what if 20,000 people put in 100 quid each? At least that's what Sheffield Wednesday chairman Chansiri wants his fans to do to pay off the debt, as he lashes out to the criticism in a recent interview. Things have been brewing up at that club for some time now, and it's only just starting to tip over the edge now. On the field, they are a disaster. They are rock bottom in the championship and destined to go back to League One. But their off-field shenanigans mean that they could drop down to divisions even lower than League One. So in this video, what we will be doing is look back at the last few years, see what has happened to get to where it has gotten today, where next, and why the f is it always us Asians when we have these situations. Hello everyone, my name is Samuel, welcome back to the channel, and I say this just about every other video at this point, but it's actually been a while, and I have a very good reason for it. Once again, I'm a final year engineering student, so I have my final year project that was ending and a capstone project that I have to do. So they both took a lot of my time. All of my focus was on that. That took about 7 years out of my lifespan. I just questioned my life about 17 different times across 12 weeks, probably more, but at the end of the day, I got through it all. I got decent results, and here I'm back. All my exams are finished, and now I can get back to making some videos. And I saw this interview by Chansiri like by chance, and I was like, hang on a second, what the fuck's happening here? I have to explore this, and I did, and here we are with the video. So hopefully you guys enjoy it, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you do. And yeah, let's get right into it. Thai businessman Chansiri bought Sheffield Wednesday from its previous owner Milan Mandaric in 2015 in a deal worth £37 million. Upon securing 100% stake of the club, Chansiri laid out very ambitious plans, with the ultimate goal to get back to the promised land by the 2017-2018 season, the club's 150th year anniversary, and he will put as much money as he can into the club for that to happen. So in this book, I have with me a bingo checklist for signs for a bad owner. And straight away we can take off a couple. Extraordinarily ambitious plans? Check. Promising ludicrous finances? Also check. And he actually followed up on his word. Wait a second. That's not on this list. This is new. But anyways, he did follow up on his words, putting 15 million into transfers in the first year, 11 million in the second year, and 15 again in the third year. This significant increase in transfer spend alongside a bloated wage structure would have devastating consequences later down the line. But in the short term, it produced very good results. In 2015-2016, Chansiri's first full season, the Owls reached the playoff final under the tutelage of Carlos Carvajal and were one Mohamed Diame wonder strike away from reaching the goal one season ahead of schedule. They would reach the playoffs again the very next season, but were dumped out on penalties by eventual promotion seeders Huddersfield, which means that Chansiri's initial goal of reaching the Premier League by 2017 will not happen on schedule, and that seems to have ticked off something within Sheffield Wednesday, because from that point onwards, everything that happened is downhill from there. After two back-to-back promotions, you would think they're ready to take the next step and seal promotion, right? Well, in theory, yes. In actuality, they just reverted backwards, with the club stumbling to a 15th place finish in the table, a dismal showing for their 150 year anniversary. They followed up with 18th and 12th place finishes within the next two seasons. Very underwhelming compared to the dizzy heights they were reaching just 3 years ago. Carlos Carvajal was already long gone by then, and there's been a manager merry-go-round ever since. But that's not the only problem that's starting to emerge. You remember that heavy spending that they've been doing for the last 3 to 4 years? Yeah, it's finally caught up with them, as they are only relying on loans and free transfers at this point because they cannot make money from sales, and financial fair play is tying them down to spend any more money. All this has landed them a 6-point deduction in the 2020-2021 season due to breaches in finances in the period ending in 2018, which included all that heavy spending on transfers. Getting in trouble with the FA and financial fair play? Check. This 6-point deduction was enough to relegate them to League One despite Darren Moore's best efforts, because without this 6-point deficit, they would have actually survived by the skin of their teeth. But they wouldn't stay in League One too long though, as they would get promoted back into the Championship within a couple of seasons in the most dramatic fashion possible. A comeback from a 4-0 deficit in the playoffs and a 123rd minute winner in the final sent them back into the Championship. But their momentary euphoria would not last long, as the club situation is just gonna get worse from here. It all started in the summer with the exit of Darren Moore. This is such a big blow because he was such a key cog in the setup and a big reason why they got back into the Championship as quickly as they did. The reason why he left was initially stated to be regarding salary demands, but a recent interview from Darren Moore himself claimed that it was because of a change in transfer targets. But regardless, he was replaced by Cisco Munoz, who was so terrible that he was replaced by a new guy already 10 games into the season. They currently sit bottom of the Championship, 3 wins from safety, and it looks like they're going to be spending next season in League One. But the issues of the pitch are so much worse, as in late September, Chansiri released a club statement saying he will no longer put any more money into the club due to a barrage of criticism from the fans. And you know what this reminds me of? You remember when you were a 6-year-old kid and you would play football with your friends, and when you are the owner of the ball, you would bully the opposition team. You would not allow them to score. When they score, you don't count them, and when they annoy you so much, you take the ball and you go back, because it's your ball and you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. Yeah, it's the same concept, except back then you were 6 or 7, 8 at a stretch. This guy is pushing 60. Less than a month later, this is followed up by a registration embargo from the EFL due to money owed to the HMRC. A failure to pay this would result in a 3-window transfer embargo. And then that interview happened where Chansiri basically demanded the fans to pay the $2 million that he owed to the HMRC. Let me read out some quotes from the interview for you. If 20,000 people gave £100, then it's 2 million and it'll be cleared, so we can finish it. That will cover everything, HMRC and the wages. Those who say it is their club, when it was clear that we had an issue with HMRC, people came out and said, Chairman, you need to take responsibility to pay. That if we don't pay, we have to sell our club. Why do they say our club? I never heard any fan say we need to prepare to save our club. They just say I have to leave. It's funny. They say they are owners and I am the custodian. If you want to save your club, this is your chance. Do not protest, save your club. If not, we will get a transfer ban over 3 windows, and there's a possibility we will go to League 2 or the National League. If you don't want to save your club, then don't call yourselves the owner and me the custodian. If you save your club, then you have the right to ask me to leave. So that's beefing with the fans and holding money hostage. Check and check. Jeez, he's really ticking a lot of boxes here. But it's also a very jarring interview, and this represents a very dark near future for the club. And so let's talk about the man himself, Chansiri. I think the easiest thing to do here is to just sit back and blame Chansiri, call him a man-child, what everybody else is doing. But I want to look into this a little bit more. I want to know why he's acting out the way that it is. What transpired for him to be this aggressive against the fans, given he invested so much in the beginning? And that's where the answer is. The amount of money he put into the club in the first place is enormous money for the championship, And when it doesn't result in an immediate promotion, it looks really bad on you. The consequences down the line are also fatal, especially if you can't get the wage bill slashed. In this case, they didn't. He made a mistake. He's never owned a football club of this magnitude before. He made a mistake. It's fine. But refusing to take accountability for it is just not. Not only is he blaming the fans for his own financial failure, he's just refusing to hire a chief executive or anything of the sort to sort out the club's finances, which not only has not improved the situation, but it's arguably made the situation much worse. And you want to know the funniest bit about all this is? They're still trying to take more money from the fans, as the ticket prices for Sheffield Wednesday has never been higher, with a season ticket costing the most among all championship clubs by a good £60. Like, lads, they are former established Premier League clubs charging 100 to 200 quid less than you. What makes you think somebody's gonna pay 600 quid to watch the bottom side play? In addition to this, Chansiri seems to be pretty bullish in his approach, refusing to take advice from footballing people when it comes to making decisions. And this can be seen in the manager merry-go-round that's been happening since Carvajal's departure, with the club employing 7 different managers in 7 years, which is very good for stability. All of this combined with the fact that he just refuses to take in opposition views, either from the fans or for the employees or from his own board, has left the club in this current state. So after all that, what do I think? Yeah, the people were right, he's a man-child. But now what? Where do we go from here? So compared to the other stuff that I've done regarding Southend and Solskjaer, it's not as bad, but at the same time, you can't really say this is irrelevant because it's not as bad as some other situation. It's never a good thing seeing a club that means so much to the local being ruined by a rich individual that just wants nothing but money. And I do hope it gets off in the near future, and I do think it will. On the pitch, however, I do not see them coming out of the relegation zone, and I do think they'll spend the next year in League One. Hopefully, for their sake, that's just as low as they sink to come next season. And that's the end of the video. Hope you enjoy. And I just realized that I forgot to wear my earring for this video, but it's fine. I don't think anybody noticed. But anywho, this isn't really something that I planned to do. I had a whole other video that I had planned, and that will be out pretty soon as well. The script's almost done. I just need to finish it and then record that and edit that as well. So hopefully I can get something up before then. But until that time comes, take care, have a wonderful day, and see ya.